administration, the legal need wording to me is fine. Although term is outdated.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Walt Wegener is the Chief Administrative Officer, District Clerk. You will either have to vote yes or no, since he is our employee. What question did you have to ask him?
Well, are we going to discuss? You said discussion.
If you had any questions before voting yes or no.
Yes, that would be the discussion, right? I thought you said, were you saying we can't discuss?
You can. What do you want? What is it you discuss?
Yes, I had just a quick question on what you think the Chief Administrative Officer and District Clerk, what do you think, what does that mean to you? As what you've done the past 2 years? You've been administrator, superintendent?
Mm-hmm.
So, can you give me a brief description of what you think what your job description is?
Sure. I lead the instructional program. I oversee the fiscal and operations. Mr. Dalton is the direct supervisor for those. I am the liaison with the board, and I follow the contract that causes me to manage the contracts and employment in the district.
And is there anywhere in that contract where it tells you or states that you have a right to tell a board member how to vote? Is there anywhere in there?
Actually, the board policy says I have to advise and recommend.
You can advise, but is there anywhere where it says you can criticize a board member for voting?
I have to advise and recommend.
And you can criticize a board member for voting on something that you didn't advise?
I have to advise and recommend.
Just advise and recommend, so
Yes,
that would be a no.
No, it's not a no. It's
You can advise to do
recommend.
this, but you can't advise us on where we say yes or no.
That's up to your conscience.
And is there anywhere in that contract where it states you can criticize a board member's religion?
I never did.
Can you repeat the question?
That was a private.
I-
That's
no, no,
private
no,
communication.
I
It's
can-
not public.
I can
So
read it out
we're gonna
loud.
stop. Kyle? Kyle, we're gonna
Also,
stop.
Kyle claims to be a part of the
Kyle.
LDS Church. I think many of those good people would be deeply concerned about a church member who actively lies in public
That
and
does
regularly
not
violates his
criticize
off
the
to
church, and
God.
that's a private communication.
So-
192-502, you
No.
may not discuss it.
That's not true. Just
That
because.
is true.
No, it's not.
I'm done talking to you about it.
Well,
I
I-
never
I-
criticized the Latter-day Saint Church, and that.
No, you criticized my religion.
No, I never did.
Yes, you did. You said. Also, Kyle claims to be a part of the LDS Church. I think many of those good people would be deeply concerned about a church member who actively lies in public and regularly violates his oath to God.
It's over.
Do you think that's an appropriate statement for a superintendent to be making to a board member?
You need to stop.
Is that an appropriate statement? Is that an appropriate statement to make to a board member?
I know you have to do this, but you are too silly.
I'm just getting started. I have a lot of stuff to go through.
Well,
But-
this is not a time. This is not a place to talk.
I'm not talking about personnel. I'm talking about a statement you made to me.
It's a private.
statement you made to me.
It's a private advice, and again, and you're violating privacy laws.
No, that's not. No, emails do not. No, it's not.
Private statement.
All right, I'm going to move ahead since this has no value that I can see. The action to approve is to hire Walt Wegener as the Chief Administrative Officer and District Clerk. I guess we'll have to do this one by one to get through it. I will accept a motion to approve Walt Wegener as the Chief Administrative Officer and District Clerk.
So will we approve Walt Wegener as the Chief Administrative Officer and District Clerk?
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I don't know whether to wait for Jim to come back or not. Okay. All right. Those in favor of approving Walt Wegener as the Chief Administrative Officer and District Clerk signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
B. Doug Dalton is the CFO, Business Manager, and Deputy Clerk. That is to say, Doug controls the money and the business portion of this district. I will.
Is Doug going to be here for questioning?
He doesn't have to
Or
answer
discussion?
questions.
Okay.
So will we approve Doug Dalton as the CFO, Business Manager, and Deputy Clerk?
Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor of approving Doug Dalton as the CFO, Business Manager, Deputy Clerk signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Thank you. Walt Wegener and Doug Dalton as custodian of the funds and authorized signature for district checks.
I had a quick question on that. I guess Walt can answer. Would you? Let me see here. And that's for the checks, right? That just authorizes
Sign
them.
checks.
Would you? And that's just two people, right? Just the superintendent and Doug. Would you consider blackmail a appropriate communication to a board member, Ms. Walt?
What are you talking about?
Kyle, you will keep your comments pertinent to the
Okay.
Okay, we're not talking about.
We're talking about the superintendent.
We're not talking about black helicopters. We're talking.
I'm talking about blackmail. There's a big difference between the two.
I will.
You take that up with your attorney. This is not the place, not the time.
Actually,
You have
it
a
is the
question on
place.
item C. That's what's on the floor.
That has to do with the superintendent, that's why.
Checks.
Checks.
Monetary.
Yes, we're approving him as the superintendent to
No,
write
we've already
checks.
done this.
This is signatures.
Well, I was just adding it from the previous one, and it doesn't really matter.
I agree there.
But I'm guessing he doesn't want to answer, so we can move on.
Why don't you have to answer?
I don't know, he's the one that wrote it.
Okay. As so moved. We approve Walt Wagner and Doug Dalton as custodians of the funds and authorize signatures for district checks.
Second?
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.